State government calls for renewed efforts by the Federal Road Safety Corps (FRSC) in curbing drunk driving, overloading, among other road safety violations. President Bola Tinubu leaves the United Kingdom for engagement in France. Farmers in the state to receive fertilizer to boost agricultural products. Abroad, Namibia government seeks Nigerians' collaboration in fight against corruption. Good evening and welcome to the Delta Television News at 8. I am Ogaga Ekama. The acting state governor, Sir Monday Oyeme, has called for renewed efforts by the Federal Road Safety Corps (FRSC) in curbing drunk driving, overloading, and the inability to use seat belts by drivers, among other road safety violations. Sir Oyeme made a call today during the zonal conference of special marshals and commissioning of the Secretariat of the Special Marshals at the premises of the FRSC at Iguzo, Oshodi North Local Government Area. Pere Botu has details.
The acting governor said in spite of efforts by the Road Safety Corps, some issues such as drunk driving and driving under the influence of psychotropic substances and overloading of vehicles still prevail on highways. He urged the Corps to devise methods of identifying drunken drivers on the highways who pose as a risk to other road users.
Please endeavor to use verbal caution, especially when the volume of traffic is high and the offense is high. But I'm also aware that the issues of drunk driving under the influence of psychotropic substances, overloading, and inability to use seatbelts, serious as they are, still prevail in spite of the best effort of the Road Safety Corps and the marshals. This calls for renewed effort to curb these excesses. Please do not relent in your efforts.
Sir Oyeme lauded the special marshals for devoting time to assist in the Federal Road Safety Corps in saving the lives of drivers and their passengers, adding that he was impressed with their efforts at pooling resources to build a secretariat.
I commend all special marshals in this zone for devoting time to assisting the Federal Road Safety Corps in the arduous task of saving Nigerian drivers and their passengers from themselves. Permit me to use this medium to remind both the Road Safety Corps and marshals of their core mandates of controlling the speed and other forms of misdemeanors of motorists on our highway. Please continue to ensure that motorists are dissuaded from engaging in telephone discussions while on the steering. Such indiscipline often result in avoidable accidents.
The state coordinator of the Special Marshals Unit in the Delta State Command of the FRSC, Comrade Idolo Odafe, said the commission of the Secretariat was the fulfillment of a collective vision born out of shared commitment to enhance road safety infrastructure and support into the impressions of the Road Safety Corps. He explained that the special marshals were volunteers who complemented the efforts of the Federal Road Safety Corps to reduce road traffic crashes, promote compliance with road safety regulations geared towards saving lives. Comrade Odafe said the Secretariat will serve as a hub for training, planning and operations towards working more efficiently, adding that the project was about 90% funded by the marshals.
Our new secretariat is more than just a building. It is a symbol of our dedication to making our commitments safer. It serves as a base from which we can amplify our operations, collaborate more effectively with Federal Road Safety Corps, and increase our impact across Delta State. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to everyone who has played a role in bringing this vision to life. To the members of the Special Marshals whose contributions made this possible, I say thank you.
At the conference with the team, leveraging technology for improved traffic management and enforcement. The Federal Road Safety Corps digitalized approach. The acting governor charged the marshals to remain good ambassadors of the Corps. The sector commander of the FRSC, Mr. Frederick Ogida, thanked the state government for its support to the Corps, saying the conference was designed to train the special marshals on leveraging on technology for improved traffic management and enforcement. The event featured the presentation of awards to the governor and other dignitaries. I am Pere Botu reporting.
President Bola Tinubu today departed for the United Kingdom for Paris. President Bola Tinubu departed from the United Kingdom for Paris, France, where he is expected to attend an engagement after spending over a week in the UK. The Senior Special Assistant on Political and Other Matters to the President, Mr. Ibrahim Masari, disclosed this on his X account. Meanwhile, details of the engagement were not made public. It will be recalled that President Tinubu left Nigeria on Wednesday, October 2, for a 2-week working vacation in the UK as part of his annual leave. The president's vacation came amidst economic hardship in the country. The state government has assured residents in the state of its commitment to promoting food security that will ensure the production of abundance of food in the state. The Secretary to the State Government, SSG, Dr. Kingsley Emu, stated this in a meeting with farmers associations while discussing how best to distribute fertilizers received from the federal government. Dr. Emu, while speaking to newsmen after the meeting, said the essence of the provision of the fertilizers was to grow more food, hence the need to channel the items through state government in order to reach to the targeted farmers. The SSG noted that the meeting with the farmers associations was to ensure that the 3,600 bags given to the association's members were distributed in a transparent way. Dr. Emu admonished the associations to emphasize on areas of comparative advantage during the distribution of fertilizers, which he said should be reflected across the 3 senatorial districts in the state. He said the state government had set up a committee with innovative and strategic way with a view to ensure even distribution. The committee would comprise members of the farmers' associations, which is being overseen by the Special Advisor to the Governor on Agriculture and the Director of Crops and Livestock in the Ministry of Agriculture. Dr. Emu stated that associations have until about 5 days to ensure the fertilizers were moved from the government warehouse to the council secretariat based on allocations to their members, and that the council chairman should supervise the delivery to the actual farmers. Those who attended the meeting included the Oil Palm Grass Association of Nigeria, Delta State Cassava Grass Association of Nigeria, Banana Plantain Grass Association of Nigeria, and Maize Grass Association of Nigeria. Others are Yam Grass Association of Nigeria, Rice Producers Association of Nigeria, and Vegetable Greenhouses Association of Nigeria. Meanwhile, the federal government has reiterated its commitment to increase food production to tackle food inflation and ensure food and nutrition security in the country. Minister of State for Agriculture and Food Security, Mr. Ali Abdullahi, stated this at the 2024 Wet Season Agricultural Performance Survey report presentation in Abuja, which was provided by the National Agricultural Extension and Research Liaison Services, NAELS. Mr. Abdullahi said this was part of the ministry's strategy to address the issue of food inflation in the country. He said the federal government would maximize and deploy the God-given natural assets that the country was blessed with to produce food for the masses. Mr. Abdullahi said mechanization was one agricultural practice that scales up food production and commended the leadership of President Bola Tinubu for his agricultural mechanization, adding that it was the New Deal and the way forward for agriculture in the country. The Executive Director of NAELS, Mr. Emmanuel Ikani, said there was a general increase in the cost of production of major crops in Nigeria in 2024. He said 25 states procured and distributed limited accessible and relatively affordable seeds, which included maize, rice, cowpea, soybean, millet, sorghum, and vegetable seeds. He said pests and diseases caused crop losses of up to an average of 35 to 45% in some farms in Nigeria, estimated at about 54,000 hectares of land in 2024. He said the Agricultural Performance Survey APS fieldwork was conducted from September 8 to 15. The federal government has introduced the Nigerian Health Professionals in Diaspora Plus Engagement Program aimed at addressing the brain drain in the healthcare sector by repatriating the expertise of Nigerian health professionals abroad. Minister of State for Health and Social Welfare, Dr. Tunji Alausa, stated this during the Diaspora Stakeholders Forum in Abuja, emphasized that the program's primary goal was to foster long-term collaboration between Nigerian professionals in the diaspora and their counterparts in Nigeria. The program was part of the government's 4-point strategic health agenda, which focuses on reforming healthcare through improved governance, value chain development, health security, and quality health systems. Dr. Alausa urged participants from the private sector and international partners to support the initiative and encourage medical professionals abroad to invest in clinical research, biomedical technology, and telemedicine to bridge gaps in healthcare delivery. The First Lady of Nigeria, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, has emphasized the importance of education as a foundation for girls to achieve their dreams. In a message to commemorate the International Day of the Girl Child with the theme, Girls' Vision for the Future, said every girl should be able to grow without limits, urging investment in their self-worth and dignity. She regretted that despite progress, many girls still face barriers. According to her, an educated girl child is a transformed woman, highlighting the far-reaching impact of empowering girls on families and communities. She charged Nigerian girls to be strong, confident, and determined in pursuing their aspirations. The president of the Nigerian Labour Congress (NLC), Comrade Joe Ajaero, has revealed the reasons the organized labour accepted the 70,000 naira minimum wage during the national minimum wage talks at the President Jean Villa, Abuja. Comrade Ajaero, who said this while fielding questions in a television program, noted that during the meeting on the new minimum wage with President Bola Tinubu at the presidential villa, the organized labor turned down the offer of an increase in the price of petroleum to accept 70,000 naira as the new minimum wage. He revealed that after the organized labor had agreed with the president on the compressed natural gas (CNG) alternative, the labor went ahead to negotiate with a team of experts who agreed to convert vehicles to CNG at a rate of 300,000 naira. The NLC boss added that in a meeting with the government team, the officials rejected the NLC deal and instead announced that conversion of vehicles to CNG would cost 800,000 naira. It will be recalled that the organized labor comprising the Nigerian Labour Congress and the Trade Union Congress had insisted on 250,000 naira as the new minimum wage, but later settled for the offer of 70,000 naira from the president. The National Agency for Science and Engineering Infrastructure, NASENI, is setting its sights on becoming Nigeria's leading innovation and technology transfer agency, according to NASENI's Executive Vice Chairman and Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Kale Halilu. In a statement by the Director of Information, Mr. Olusegun Onyeyinekan expressed his commitment to transforming NASENI's role in the nation's technological landscape. Mr. Halilu said that under his leadership, NASENI had launched 36 market-ready products, including solar irrigation pumps, electric vehicles, and smart home systems. He emphasized the importance of collaboration in NASENI's recent successes and underscored the partnerships with strategic allies and original equipment manufacturers that have been pivotal in product development. He noted that his aim was not only to enhance NASENI's profile, but also to ensure that its innovations contribute significantly to Nigeria's economic growth. The Federal High Court sitting in Lagos has fixed November 1, 2024 to rule on the application by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) for the final forfeiture of the over $2 million service, 7 choice landed properties, and shares involving former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Mr. Godwin Emefiele. The court will also, on the same date, rule on the formal application filed by the former banker for a stay of proceedings. It will be recalled that on August 15, 2024, the court had authorized the EFCC to temporarily take custody of the assets. In granting the application, the court had instructed the EFCC to publish the order of interim forfeiture for any person interested in the funds to show the cause why it should not be finally forfeited to the federal government. At the resumed hearing, counsel for the EFCC, Barrister Rotimi Oyedepo, moved an application for the final forfeiture of the sum of over $2 million, as well as share certificates, which he said was not contested by the interested party. In opposition, however, counsel to the interested party, Mr. Emefiele, Barrister Olaleko Ojo, prayed the court to hold that the interested party had shown in a balance of probability that the court ought not to grant the final forfeiture of the properties. He adopted his written address, urging the courts to refuse the application. Earlier in the proceedings, the court refused to stay further proceedings in the suit. Through his lawyer, Mr. Emefiele had urged the judge to stay proceedings pending the hearing of an appeal he filed before the Court of Appeal, seeking to nullify the temporary forfeiture order earlier granted by the court. Officers of the Presidential Task Force Against Economic Sabotage and Oil Vandalism, in partnership with the Joint Task Force of Operation Clean and Healthy Anambra (OCAH) Brigade, have raided an illegal wine manufacturing facility in Onitsha. The officers who stormed the Nkwo area in Anambra State confiscated and sealed up the local manufacturing company, which specialized in the mass production of imitation of exotic wines and other drinks in the state. It was gathered that the illegal wine company had over the years produced and distributed several types of fake and unapproved wines in large quantities and distributed for general consumption. During the raid, 7 suspects were also arrested at the facility located on Onowu Street off Enugu-Onitsha Expressway, Onitsha. Products of popular brands such as Classic Heaven, Baron Devanis, Dutch Black, Triple MW, and Hennessy, among others, were confiscated during the raid. The managing director of OCAH Brigade, Mr. Celestine Anere, said the raid was conducted following credible intelligence received by the enforcement officers. Mr. Anere urged consumers to be vigilant, especially when purchasing alcoholic beverages and wines. The state coordinator of the Presidential Task Force Against Economic Sabotage and Oil Vandalism, Mr. Collins Enebeli, stated that the task force was committed to ending all forms of economic sabotage in the country, describing Anambra State as one of the leading states in the production of fake products. Some of the suspects, when interrogated, claimed they were merely workers in the factory trying to make ends meet without any knowledge of the factory's certification. They pleaded for mercy from the government, pointing out that their boss supplies over 1,000 cartons of wine every day. A toll-free hotline geared at encouraging residents to report violations of religious freedom in Taraba State has been launched. The initiative was introduced today during the screening of the movie Bridging the Abyss in Jalingo, the state capital, was part of ongoing efforts to promote peaceful coexistence and religious tolerance in the region. The hotline 0000002233, which was announced by the senior project officer for Search for Common Ground, Mrs. Habiba Ghazali, emphasized the importance of using the platform to report instances where individuals are targeted based on their religious beliefs. She reassured the public that measures are already in place to protect the safety of those who report such violations, adding that the initiative was part of a broader effort to strengthen early warning signs for religious freedom violations not only in Taraba but across Nigeria. Mrs. Ghazali, who highlighted the organization's ongoing work to raise awareness about the right to freedom of religion and belief, urged stakeholders to work extra miles to protect these rights, warning that violations would not be tolerated by the organization. The Taraba State Coordinator of the National Human Rights Commission, Mr. Yakubu Musa, urged law enforcement agencies to uphold Section 38 of the 1999 Constitution, which guarantees citizens' rights to freely practice their religion. He also emphasized the need for an environment where everyone could worship without fear. The event was organized by the Dutch Ministry of Foreign Affairs and was attended by security personnel, religious leaders, media representatives, herders, farmers, civil society organizations, and top government officials. Still to come on the news, Namibia government seeks Nigeria's collaboration in its fight against corruption. Details of this and more coming up shortly.
Where is Glory?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Hello? Where Glow now?
I didn't hear.
Glo don't go village, tell all our customer abi.
Everybody pay attention. See, now Glow dedicated 10x. Now him I they take tension my customers. Now they dash me 10 times the credits when I load. Or even summer me double data join.
Yeah. Wait, so with 1.5 when they give all of us, so you they enjoy up to 15,000 naira credit and data.
And I say I never finish you. See, when I say we enjoy, if I join Glow dedicated 10x, when I go get 1,000 naira welcome credits.
Glo, you don't win.
Una see they here. Hello, please, I'm looking for Glow. Please save now Glow with they find. Now Glow with they go. Okay, so
Enjoy 10 times the value of your recharge on Glow Berekete 10X. You also get 1,000 naira for calls and data and double data bonus on your subscription.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us on the news. The government of Namibia has sought the help of the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission (ICPC) and the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) in its fight against corruption in the country. This was just as it declared that because Nigeria is leading in the fight against corruption in Africa, it needs to share its remarkable achievements in fighting corruption. According to a statement cited on the Commission's website, the partnership is aimed at exploring training opportunities as well as sharing of expertise with personnel of the Namibian Anti-Corruption Commission in the fight against corruption. The statement noted that the Namibian government made a call when its ambassador to Nigeria, Mr. Humphrey Gates, paid a courtesy call to the ICPC's headquarters in Abuja, Nigeria's capital city. According to him, Nigeria occupies an exalted position in the fight against corruption in Africa, and such expertise as Nigeria possesses needs to be shared with other African countries. The statement also noted that the ambassador further revealed that Namibia also had an anti-corruption agency known as the Anti-Corruption Commission of Namibia (ACC), just as he proposed that the commission would love to learn about the success story coming from Nigeria, especially in the recovery of stolen assets by the ICPC and the sister agency, the EFCC. In business, traders from the northern part of the country plying the old Ogbomosho-Oyo Road have resorted to selling off their goods such as livestock and perishables at low prices due to the deplorable condition of the road. Many lives have also been lost as a result of the deplorable condition of the old road, and travelers as well as indigenes of Ogbomosho have made several appeals to the federal government to complete the new Ibadan-Oyo-Ogbomosho-Ilorin Expressway. Commuters said livestock like goat, sheep, and even cattle, as well as other perishable goods like pepper, tomato, and others, were being disposed of by traders, transporting them to the northern part of the country at reduced prices to residents of Ogbomosho. Some of the traders decried the deplorable condition of the road, saying they decided to sell off the livestock instead of losing the animals. A big he-goat whose market price ranges from 35,000 naira to 40,000 naira was reportedly sold off as low as 10,000 naira. Still in business, the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria (IPMAN) has raised an alarm over likely fuel scarcity despite the increasing cost of petroleum products. The IPMAN National Public Relations Officer Alhaji Okalonwo Olariwaju, who gave the alert while speaking with newsmen in Ilorin, Kwara State, said the current price which the NNPCL had been imposing on marketers was too high and might cause another round of fuel scarcity. The IPMAN spokesperson, who said the NNPCL wanted to sell at 1,010 naira to marketers, noted that the price was even higher than what it sold at its outlets. The association said there appeared to be disagreement between members of the association and the management of the NNPCL. While decrying the situation, the IPMAN spokesperson noted that marketers took loans for business from banks, adding that the loans attracted high interest rates and called for a return to the fuel subsidy regime. Meanwhile, the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry (LCCI) has urged the federal government to provide crude oil to local refiners at $1 per 1,000 naira exchange rate to tackle rising petrol prices. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited increased the premium motor spirit pump price from 897 naira to 1,030 naira per litre on Wednesday, the second increase in 1 month. The LCCI president, Mr. Gabriel Idahosa, in a statement, argued that pegging the exchange rate for crude sales to local refineries would lower the cost of fuel production, thereby reducing the price of petrol at the pump and easing the burden on businesses and consumers. The statement noted that petrol costs had soared by 430% since President Bola Tinubu was sworn in on May 29 last year, which he said had crippled business operations. The chamber claimed that the uncertainty surrounding the policy, increasing operating costs, and a scarcity of foreign exchange have made it difficult for businesses to make long-term plans. It also reiterated the need to fully implement the Petroleum Industry Act, which would streamline operations in the oil and gas sector and attract foreign investments. The statement highlighted the transition to compressed natural gas mobility as a key intervention and called for widespread CNG refueling stations and financial supports to ease the conversion process for businesses and consumers. It called on the government to communicate its economic policies as businesses struggle to navigate an environment of uncertainty, rising inflation, and increasing costs. Team DBS Asaba defeated Team Government House and Protocol by 1-0 to win the in-house retirement novelty match in honor of the Senior Special Assistant to the Governor on Protocol, Mr. Samuel Fejoku, at the Skill Acquisition Center pitch in Asaba. Henry Usiayo reports.
The novelty match, which was put together by the old Secretariat Trainers of Stars, saw the players played against themselves as Team Government House Protocol and DBS Asaba in honor of Mr. Fejoko, who bowed out of active service in the DBS Asaba after 35 years service. Both teams produced scintillating performances but were shy of goal in the game as they kept each other at bay. Kingsley Onyemuna, however, broke the deadlock for Team DBS Asaba to score the lone goal of the game after waltzing through the defense before smashing home a fiery shot that left the goalkeeper in limbo. That goal changed the tempo of the game as Team Government House Protocol pushed for an equalizer, while Team DBS also kept pushing to double their lead. Both teams failed to score, and Kingsley's goal separated both teams. After the game, other members of the old Secretariat Trainers All-Stars came together to sing a solidarity song for Mr. Fejoko. The chairman of the old Secretariat All-Stars, Mr. Anthony Uyalumo, and the chairman, Board of Trustees, Ambassador Emmanuel Oyowikiwo, among other members of the club, said Mr. Fejoko had always supported the club, which formed the decision to organize the novelty match to celebrate him on his retirement.
He has been very supportive in every aspect of our training, football matches, outside matches, away matches. He has contributed a lot to the growth of OSEC Football All-Stars. Not tired, he cannot be tired. He's still very fit, so I encourage him to come out and do what he knows best. I want to encourage him that and pray that God will guide him and protect him in this new adventure, new other side that he's going to face now.
My advice to him is for him to do more because he has retired but he's not tired.
Sammy, I just for some time I know you and everything I've seen about you, you're always calm, easy, and my prayers for you is you're leaving the service strength to do more and more and more things.
All you pass through the rudiment and all of that challenges. And would they see you say you're young? We can't get my saying that's also what service be. So we embrace the fact. Today is a privilege for me to know you.
It's not a day for highfalutin words. It's just a day to thank God and eulogize the virtues which he is known for.
Mr. Samuel Fijoko thanked members of the club for the honor done him and promised to continue to support the body, while also urging those still in active service to be diligent in the discharge of their duties.
Before you actually came into the service, if it was just because you're looking for where to earn a living, it's not as if you wanted to actually carve a niche for yourself. You're not trying to make a career for yourself, then you might not actually stay through. So it was very exciting, lovely football. You would never believe that some of these guys are actually fathers and some of them grandfathers, but they still play very good football. So it was simply wonderful.
A reception was later held by the club members to honor their own. Henry Usiayu reporting.
Next is the thought for the day. Do not conclude a matter until you have heard from the parties involved. To end the news, here again are the main points. The acting governor, Samonde Oyeme, has called for renewed efforts by the Federal Road Safety Corps (FRSC) in curbing drunk driving, overloading, and the inability to use seat belts by drivers, among other road safety violations. President Bola Tinubu today departed from the United Kingdom for Paris, France, where he is expected to attend an engagement after spending over a week in the United Kingdom. The Senior Special Assistant on Political and Other Matters to the President, Mr. Ibrahim Masari, disclosed this on his X account. The state government has assured residents in the states of its commitment to promoting food security that would ensure the production of abundance of food in the state. The Secretary to the State Government SSG, Dr. Kingsley M, stated this in a meeting with farmers associations while discussing how best to distribute fertilizers received from the federal government. We also told you that the government of Namibia has sought the help of the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission and the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission in its fight against corruption in the country. This was just as it declared that because Nigeria is leading in the fight against corruption in Africa, it needs to share its remarks in fighting corruption. That's the news. Thank you so much for watching. I am Ogaga Ekama. Good evening.